Last year, I was completely burnt out. I felt like I was trapped in my marketing agency. Even though we had 20 clients, we had team members all around the world, I felt like my entire life was nothing more than running this business. This is what my calendar for a typical week looked like. Every single day was packed with meetings, one after the other. And the crazy part is, I thought that this is what being a founder was supposed to look like. Fast forward to today, and my calendar looks completely different. Not only was I able to get my time back, but our agency was able to double in its monthly revenue. Now I'm completely out of the day-to-day. I don't have to speak to any clients or manage the team. How did this happen? Hey, my name is Jason. I run a 7-figure retention marketing agency. And over the past year, I've become obsessed with one question, which is how do you remove yourself from a business without the business falling apart? In other words, how do you get back your time? Now, I could spend hours talking about how we're using AI across all aspects of our client delivery. We're using it for copywriting, for QA, reporting, strategy, all of that. But I think an even bigger opportunity for anyone watching this is management. How can you get yourself out of the day-to-day management using AI? Because eventually every business owner hits the same ceiling. You stop doing the work yourself, you hire people, then you start managing those people. But eventually you become the bottleneck. Your job becomes answering questions, making decisions, following up, holding people accountable, jumping on meetings. And like I said, I was completely burnt out last year. So at the beginning of this year, I forced myself to start thinking, how can I get out of this state of my business? And that's when I realized managing your team is really just information flow. Think about every meeting you've ever had. What's actually happening? People are giving you information. You're asking questions, you're making decisions, you're creating accountability. That's basically it. And so I asked myself, what if we didn't need meetings? What if we could get and share all this information asynchronously instead? And so I started building a system which has now completely changed how I run my agency. Instead of waiting for weekly updates, our team is now able to share structured updates through recurring automations. And the beauty of this is all the same questions that I was asking them on the calls, I took that and I turned it into questions that they submit to me on an automatic basis. And so what we have now is each department has their own regular cadence where they're sharing information with me through a form. Different departments answer different questions. We've got one for our project managers, for our strategists, for our HR department. The beauty about this is that instead of a call where each person now needs to show up at the same time, which is a nightmare when you're working with teams that are in multiple different time zones, everyone can submit information in a very consistent format. Instead of spending hours collecting updates, the information simply arrives. And that's where AI becomes incredibly powerful. Because once all of your agency's information is structured, AI can actually understand it. So instead of reading dozens of updates, I can get all the information from all departments into distilled summaries. So this tells me what's blocked, what clients are at risk, what team members need help, what deadlines are slipping, what decisions need my attention. But once I started doing this, something interesting happened that I wasn't expecting. Every form submission produced 2 different types of data. The first was quantitative, simply tracking whether people consistently submitted their updates created built-in accountability. You can immediately see who is engaged and who isn't. And the second was qualitative. Over time, I could start to see patterns emerging. You can see recurring client issues, repeated blockers, and team members asking similar questions. It allowed me to see the problems before that they became emergencies. And this is the part that AI is exceptionally good at. It's recognizing those patterns that humans miss because there's simply too much information. And so that brings me to the final point, which is once we had the system in place where team members could share structured updates, it allowed me to bring in middle-level management. You see, I didn't want to completely remove calls because otherwise it could start to hurt company morale. But I didn't need to be the one doing those calls. So I was able to hire a role where someone was still doing a weekly one-on-one check-in with key team members. And instead of them spending their time chasing updates, they already had the information because of this recurring form submissions, which means that they could focus their energy on actually coaching the team and helping them to make better decisions, holding them accountable because they knew what the problems were, and the AI was helping them to see what they needed to focus on. And so there you have it. That's the system that I used to completely eliminate myself from the day-to-day of my agency. Today, the agency is running better than ever. Communication is clearer, problems are surfaced earlier, there's built-in accountability, and I finally got back my time. And if you want to see a step-by-step video of how you can set up these automations and how we've implemented the forms into our agency, then I'll put a link to that in the video description. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe because I'm going to be making more content about how I was able to completely change my agency with better systems and better team management. Also, let me know in the comments, what is your biggest frustration with your agency? I read every single one and it will give me ideas for future videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.